could be a big problem leading into this set for experienced Stingray and Maid.
So eyes are also going to be on Taffyyyy for this one because he's quote-unquote the third wheel, if you will. And we've seen third wheels pop up.
Yep, every time.
Somehow, I don't know why you would ever buy this car, but the third wheel is actually the biggest wheel on it. I don't think that would run very well, but Lord, I'd love to watch it.
Hey, these tricycles have been working very well, I guess. But hey, you know, you got the two at the back, and you got the one who's steering them to victory up at the front. And of course, like you're saying, with Brynn, an incredibly common pick we've been seeing so far from everybody. We are, in fact, not going to. We're not going to see the Val come out though from megD. Still a really smart pick though with the Chun-Li.
Now we are seeing Stingray completely abandon the Koji and now move over to the Orion. This is what we expected from the get-go. A lot of spear in this game, though. You're looking at megD has one in his hands. Taffyyyy also has a spear in his hands. Also,
uncommon pick from Raydish. We're seeing the Akuma come in. So a little bit of a shift for everyone. It is 3, so you want more combo lineup. And also, I think that their team is kind of like if you were to look at an early, like, hey, what would be like a really solid 3's meta pick team lineup, right? You got Val, you got Wusheng, and you got Brynn. That's pretty smart decisions right there.
That's definitely good. Seeing that we haven't seen too much Lance in North America, maybe that just doesn't make its way into the 3v3 meta, so we are seeing, like, yeah, this is Raydish, megD, and Taffyyyy kind of have the kind of workhorse, your daily driver 3v3 meta characters in there.
But I think that switch back over to, of course, the Orion, like you were saying before, very smart, however, very unhealthy as Stingray. Very solidly close game right now, but I'm looking over at Taffyyyy and Stingray both being so damaged. You have to be careful of megD getting set flying too, but remember we were saying before, megD, the impossible to knockout factor, still holding on to that third.
And at one point, Experience was also with megD on that first stock, but no, Experience got taken out. Then megD got hit with a big hit that normally would have led to a KO, but it was from the left side of the stage sending to the right blast zone because of that megD positioning. Even when megD got hit, it wasn't a KO move.
My goodness, Experience is such a nightmare in center. What, like that, megD fell off a team combo and their instant focus shifted over to Taffyyyy and then instantly shifted to Raydish. That was such a quick change of fortune for the blue team because Experience got one team combo, and also that offstage gameplay we talked about before from Experience with those edge guards. Don't let him catch you with a nair offstage. You're probably not making it back.
Blue team also found a really nice, just like I think it was a 3, maybe a 4-hit team combo that put a ton of damage onto Stingray. Didn't lead to a KO, wasn't the longest thing, the most flashy thing in the world, but it added up enough damage to get him in the red on his final stock. So again, those impact plays making a huge difference in the possible outcome of this game. Great follow-up there from Stingray with the side air off of the down air from Maid.
Yeah, and Stingray just trying to play the offstage gameplay as long as possible to hopefully get one while he's down there, but gets ground pounded, and now the win condition is that much better. If you're a blue team fan, you got to be feeling much better here.
megD has continued to not get hit as often as everybody else in the game, and even when megD does get hit, still living on that second stock despite being very much in the red at this point. Even reaching up with that neutral air, we have this 2v2, but it's going to heavily favor blue team because of megD.
This is definitely one of the better 2v2s we've seen so far, even between yesterday. Both of them not that far off. You get rid of megD's stock, you're all of a sudden in a good spot. Plenty of room to work with here for both teams, but Raydish going heavily more on defense. Gonna get hit is megD to get a free 2-up. That was so good on Raydish with that side light to get out of there.
I wonder about the KO potential of this team. Like, yeah, we are, of course, seeing Cross coming out from Maid, who has a lot of KO potential, but having double gauntlets or gauntlets from Maid and Katars from Experience, it may be tough to get these stocks. Like, you saw how damaged Raydish was, how far to the left Raydish was when he got hit with that side air. Not going to be a KO.
Yeah, I'm so extremely surprised that Raydish is even in the game at the moment. But going deep on stage, Experience forcing him to use somebody, but the reversal side air avoids the Sair as well from Maid, but finally gets hit by Experience, going too low. Experience is going to just hover, forcing Maid to go ahead and keep him safe, but megD does have health advantage at the moment.
Has health advantage, also grabbed the weapon really early on. You see megD just sitting up there. Anything that Experience or Maid does from below, megD can essentially outrange by far with a spear down air. That's why you see megD jumping so much to be in the spot needed to be aerial to put out that down air in case Maid and Experience push upward.
Exactly. If you get caught slipping once, spear recovery is taking you off that top, and megD trying to sneak his way in, hopefully kind of like mess with the mental a bit, get them to fall too far behind. It's a free team combo right now. Does not miss out on the GCD light, however, is Maid, so he's able to walk away not too damaged.
Well, yeah, it especially wasn't a lot of damage because it's gauntlets that don't have the most damage per move, and of course unarmed that doesn't have the most damage per move. Even lower than gauntlets, even lower than Katars. Yo, that could have been the start. They added up a little bit more damage. The neutral light coming out. You see the chase dodge up from Maid, maybe hoping to go in the sky, hit a side air, or maybe pick up the recovery depending on where megD dodges. Yo.
Oh my goodness, megD is making this happen right now. He took a lot of damage, but tries to go down, gets the ground pound, and Maid's not going to make that back, and megD comes out on top after being in a spot where they were getting a lot of team combos, a couple miscues, one accidental team hit where Experience was in the way, shutting down that third combo early, and megD finally finds that ground pound to separate the two and get the dub.
I wonder what would have happened if in that moment that we had the team combo where it was gauntlets and unarmed, if there would have been a weapon there instead of unarmed. That could have been curtains.
Maybe.
That one moment could have been curtains. The fact that megD fought back from that is incredible, but also the fact that the red team did as well in that 2v1. They had the main advantage, of course, but their health was so far behind. Like, as you saw, it wasn't like megD was putting out a ton of damage. It was a few hits. That's all it took.
Sparky, I'm chalking that one up to them being on the left side of the graphic.
Okay.
Like, I'm chalking that one up to over there.
Yeah, I agree with you.
This is what we were afraid of when we were looking at, well, not actually afraid of, this is what that other team should be afraid of going into this. This is why when I saw that team, they jumped into my predictions because of the potential of megD's defense in this format. He's already hard enough to hit in every other format. That's how. Why should that change here? And that proved just to be that in that first game. I think if I'm red team, my primary focus is get megD, keep Stingray alive, because Stingray got jumped very quickly, smartly too, because of the range that, like we said before, you want Lance gone out of the picture as quick as possible.
100%, and we are going to a different map here. Like you said, Stingray is going back to the Koji that we saw first, moving from the Orion. That was part of the reason, or part of the really the character that he built his career on, that people began to really know his name in Brawlhalla Esports.
Well, it definitely worked very well in that first round of top 32, so I do not disagree with that switch at all here. Plus, having you know, the big Miami Dome, I think might work a bit better because just the way we've seen Bo's kind of popping off here today. And what
dude, look at him go!
Yeah, they already struck first there as they get rid of Raydish's first stock.
I definitely think the bigger maps are going to be definitely the play if Stingray is on this Koji, and I'm basing that off of one, he's playing extremely well right now, but also the last time they were successful and got the 3-0, a lot of that was on Blackguard Keep, which is really an even larger map than this because those soft platforms are so much longer.
Yeah, also I think minimize the amount of possible safety nets that like megD could take, or also get great 2v1s like what's currently happening to Taffyyyy on the right. But you see how they immediately disengage from Taffyyyy as soon as they realize the edge guard is over to go in pressure. Raydish was trying to help out megD. megD is taking so much damage. They were able to get 2 at least on the red team, but they took a lot in exchange before they finally cleared it.
Experience taking out that side air from Raydish. Oh, Maid coming in, interrupting that one. Not too much damage came out on Stingray in that process. We see essentially like 2 color changes that the red team is ahead because they're all in the yellow. Meanwhile, all of blue team is in the red.
Now let's see if they can keep this going here because now blue team has complete stage control as Taffyyyy fighting that D-Light to send him up. But I love that dare in the middle from Maid, recognizing, oh, hey, you weren't paying attention to the skies, Taffyyyy. That actually netted 2 of them that hit.
There's the side light coming out from Experience. Pushing into the edge guard. The weapon toss goes a little bit wide. Raydish threw his weapon to keep himself safe, was also able to pick that one back up. So he's not at the weapon disadvantage. That toss down does leave him disarmed. Spawn comes in, he grabs it from the main soft platform. megD!
Amazing.
I thought that weapon toss was 100% going to hit. Still confirms the KO on Maid. That was huge.
That was so good from megD, recognizing, oh, you want to use that dodge early? Congratulations, I read that. I'm going to go to the right, get another nair, find that sider, send you packing. That was such a crucial stock for megD because Sparky, look how much closer this game has now become.
Absolutely. Other than Taffyyyy being in the yellow, which isn't a terrible spot to be in, he is getting pinballed a little bit, but man, Experience starting to take some serious damage, but that recovery didn't actually end up sending him off screen yet. So he still has a little bit of ways to go before it is knockout time for Experience, depending on where he actually gets hit. That neutral light from the center of the stage, not going to be the KO move just yet, unless megD is able to. The ground pound way too low. Experience was on the soft platform.
Experience trying to find his way in, so was Maid at that point, but the control from Taffyy's axe right now has completely shifted the game. How many nairs and neutralites are we seeing Taffyy connect on right now that has completely just dismantled the offense from the red team?
The tides are starting to turn. Taffyy very damaged, but so is Stingray.
The Stingray needs to find his way back to center comfortably and safe, but Taffyy going to go ahead and avoid that edge guard attempt from experience. megD hoping to go help out Raydish. He finds the gap and actually finds a knockout in the midst of that gap with the recovery.
I can't believe that actually had enough force on it to KO, because it wasn't like super high in the air when he picked that one up. Neutralite from experience, not going to do it just yet. Taffyy, of course, has that recovery still. He even had the dodge in case there was any actual move or weapon toss that came out. Still able to get back from that one. Taffyy somehow still in this, but megD is really damaged. megD is out of the game. Taffyy is out of the game, and it was looking like it was starting to slip from the red team. They were able to grab it back at the end.
For a second there, after watching Taffyy actually find that wall touch at the bottom and hopefully get up there quick enough to help megD, I thought they might actually be able to make that comeback. But smart on the red team. Like, look, you have a long time before you have to get back. Let's get megD, and it worked. And megD took so much damage to start. Our very first game 4 at minimum.
Yep.
We see not a 3-0. We see an answer back, and that's exactly what we were expecting out of this set.
And after that, and after game 1, I am now worried about my pick of experience and Maid. And I forgot their name. I'm pulling an Ajax today. Experience, Maid, and Stingray. Coming in, I believe, second, I put them in. I'm worried. I'm now worried about Raydish, Taffyy, and megD more than I was previously.
So here's the funny thing about my picks, right?
Other than them being bad. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, I was looking at you while you were saying that during pre-show.
I'm just kidding.
So the funny thing is, actually, this is actually a moment where I expected the team of Raydish to fall, and then they were to climb back up through the loser side because Luna, Cody, Travis are on the other side, and I am looking at Experience's team to possibly get through Pugsy, Phazon, and Snowy.
Okay.
That's what I was looking at. However, like you said, with the way this has been going so far, even though Taffyy just fell first, I wouldn't be hard-pressed to say that Raydish's team takes this out here.
It's certainly possible as we were getting into this game 3. And, of course, what map are we going on to? Blackguard Keep, that huge map, giving Stingray plenty of room to run with that bow. We haven't seen too many major things happening. Like, yeah, Taffyy is on his second stock already, but Stingray could be right behind him. Raydish could fall. Like, so many things could happen in this moment. The beginning of these games sometimes is 100% telling of how they'll go, and also 100% incorrect on how the rest of the game will go.
That's just been the uniqueness of 3v3s. Like, you could have a dominant lead and then just have one really good 2v1 off stage. That Dare's going to find Taffyy, and then Experience is going to cover with the Nair, and he's going to get him afterwards, too. Even if he went to the right, didn't matter who was hovering there. Sparky Maid was already ready to go.
Taffyy really has to be careful now. Him being in the yellow on his second stock is very different than him being in the white on his final stock when everybody on red is still on their first. We could see this is a similar opening, at least for the red team, that we saw last game where, okay, you made a face, you're pogging right now, tell me.
I was looking at that potential early yellow knockout that was going to happen to megD because Experience was underneath the soft platform. Maid sent him over, and Stingray was ready with the ground pound, but luckily for them, Raydish ran out there fast. He almost lost his stock too, but that was really close to being an early knockout.
Ooh, that is going to be Maid. Put onto second stock. Stingray still living, but he is fighting megD over on the side. Definitely one of the stronger members of this blue team. megD is becoming in so clutch in so many of these situations here. Nice dodge from Stingray to get through the signature.
Something I'm noticing as a big difference here, Sparky, too, is that game 2, all of the axe control in center, the spear control in center, minimized. Because red team has just been forcing them onto the soft platforms and winning every time. As Experience gets in there, almost gets a ground pound, but gets reversed by Raydish. It's smartly going underneath the stage, getting out of there. There was too many blue right next to him to afford to try to go back on.
Stage control on this map, I feel like it doesn't necessarily mean as much.
Yeah.
It's still obviously important. If you're on the soft platform on the edge and you're in orange, you get KO, that's an early KO, of course. Having stage control there would have been better. But still, for the most part, I feel like stage control isn't the focus on this map like you do on other maps, and definitely like you do in other game modes compared to 3v3.
I think that's the biggest win condition that the blue team had going for them, that the red team has taken away in spades. As Raydish has already fallen. I see a character switch coming in from Raydish next game, and I see see Taffyyyy flying away. This is a 5-stock lead to megD. megD is surprisingly still fighting this out, and a double weapon toss just to send a message down there at the bottom.
Oh, it's experience. He stole that one, and then he stole the possible D-Light recovery that was coming out from Maid right before that. The D-Light hit, Maid was moving into that with the dash jump into the recovery, and experience was like, nope. Recovery, yoinking that KO right off the top.
I mean, I won't even lie. It's kind of the experience show for quite a few of these times. Most of the time,
there was right there.
Yeah, like experience is always there to, 1, take a KO away, 2, line up the knockouts when other people set it up. But perfectly timed. That was like frames off, literally frames off from not being experience's knockout too. That was like so close. But this is why when I was looking at this in the predictions potential, that I was kind of thinking that Experience's team might take this out here and force their way closer to second, because they have so much synergy between Experience and Maid already.
They really do.
They are always there.
They really do.
And the fact that Stingray is there with them, where I expect the Stingray to be the one to be able to win out the 1v1s or the strength of what Orion could do. It's actually not even been Orion. It's been Koji. And they've all been working as a full unit to get success.
So one thing that I looked at with Delta and TM and Coco as a team was, of course, Delta and TM playing together in the past, and then, of course, their camaraderie as a French unit. But Experience and Maid and Stingray, dude,
that's twice now.
You gave it to me today, bro. And it's Stingray. Like, that's a name we all know. That team is also a part of a content, I guess they call it a content collective of people who come together and make content. Of course, Sandwick is in that as well. Shouts out Sandwick. I see you back. I'm pointing at you, Sandwick.
It's in the back room.
So they all play together and make content together, which means they have that synergy, even though it's not on the 2v2 ladder. So that, in a similar way to previous.
You come out here to go look at me. Okay, was it? Okay. Now, for a
no,
second,
it's Toast coming out here. He's going to scold you for not talking about the game.
Of course. And hey, Sandwick and Toast, man. What a great production pairing. But right now, of course, we have game number 4. Like we said, the only one so far here that has gone this far today. Everything's been 3-0s, but not so much now. But this counter pick back to Big Miami Dome, I think, does help out the blue team, at least here in game 4.
Definitely. The first 2 bans that came out for blue team, one was the Turtles layer, which is just like a weird stage that they just probably didn't want to play on. The other one, the second one, was Blackguard. So getting that off the board right away, do not take Maid, Experience, and Stingray. I got it this time. Don't take them to Blackguard.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. There was too much that worked in favor of them, but Experience is able to fight a 2v1 by himself and at least get one on megD, close to getting Raydish too. I expected Raydish to switch, by the way. Did not. Stayed over here on the Akuma, and it's been working at least a bit better, but Taffyyyy falls shortly after. Raydish is close to falling too. They are looking very similar to the last game. It's at least not as bad, but the fact that megD is falling early compared to the early sets, big difference.
I didn't actually say the name of the content group that they are a part of. It is called Null. It is Y, the letter Y, Null _ on Twitter, and it is Null on YouTube.
Yes.
Just wanted to give credit where credit is due.
Shout outs to the content groups.
Ooh, megD trying to make it work. Got the recovery KO off the top, hoping to take out Stingray. No, it's going to be possibly Raydish's down air. Experience didn't dip too low because he was also in danger of being taken out, not off his first stock, but off of his second stock and put on final stock. Even if he could have saved his teammate, who likely would have been taken out right after that, that would have been a bad trade, so he completely avoided it.
Yeah, that was a really good follow-up right there for Raydish. Also, well, Ground Pound's going to come in for Experience. Actually, you needed that.
Absolutely.
Taffyyyy being the one to go deep off stage right now is actually kind of surprising to me, considering how damaged he was, because they were bringing it back, but still, Experience is going to fall. This is not too bad. If they could find a team combo, I think particularly on Maid, they'll be fine, because Maid has been in the middle of the fray the whole time.
Definitely. But Experience getting that ground pound on Taffyyyy on the left was huge, and then I wasn't able to see who actually got the KO onto megD, putting megD on final stock. That was a big grab from the red team coming out, and then Experience fell. So yeah, it wasn't a big deal. Exactly like you said, the timing of everything that happened to the red team there was solid.
Exactly, and like, even though it is one stock in favor at the moment, you need Raydish to make this back, and he's not going to weapon toss. Now things are looking a little bit more hard pressed for the blue team as megD is going to fall. That was one of the worst times you could have had megD fall. He was not even in the deep red yet, and now Taffyyyy is going to potentially get knocked out here. Good save from Raydish, but I'm surprised he even made that back.
Taffyyyy Still able to get here, though he chose to recover to the bottom of the right wall, too. I would have been scared to do that. I would have been high going all the way to the left side of the screen, but megD's taken out. Taffyyyy might be right behind him. Unarmed wouldn't have trouble taking out Taffyyyy at this point.
Bro, get you a friend that cares about you the way Taffyyyy cared about Raydish there, because he went in there in the middle of all that to try and help. Raydish trying to find a down there, however, on experience, who's very low. Gonna get the reversal off the wall. Is the wall bounce gonna be enough? No, experience gets the wall touch. Meanwhile, Taffyyyy struggling to get back on versus Stingray.
Maid needs to push harder here. I feel like Maid's not pushing as hard as he could be. Like, he's throwing out that neutral signature, hoping somebody falls into it or his teammate hits somebody into it, when he should just be pushing.
Yeah,
he has 2 stocks
right
to his name right now compared to experience. And Stingray's pretty healthy as well, but still, okay, they end up closing that one out. It was a game 4 at minimum, like you said, and it did not go to a game 5.
Very entertaining set overall. Very solid play from the blue team to start. They got only 1 for being on the left side of the board, but after that, it came to a close. We finally see someone on the right side of the graphic get a W.
The curse has been broken.
It is now over. Like we said, as soon as the reset of the bracket happened, or the graphics, that's when someone gets a W.
Now the right side is the victorious side. So we'll see how that happens with the rest of the games in our block and today. But yeah, that was what I wanted to see from Raydish and megD and Taffyyyy. I wanted to see them lose. No, I'm just kidding. They played really